Hi, and welcome to the Minimalist EDC. My name's Chris, and today is New Knife Day. So, this knife right here, I got yesterday, and this is not typically the type of knife that fits my minimalist aesthetic. We have the Benchmade Mini Adamas. So, typical Benchmade fashion. You get your little pouch, little box, some instructions and warranty information. But this little guy is a bruiser. It is thick, it is weighty, and it is built like a tank. So what I mean by this is not normally my style. I don't particularly like coated blades. I tend to use my knives and they scratch up, and I just don't like the way a scratched up coating looks. Versus with a stonewash blade or something, it hides the usage a little bit better. Secondly, I like this chunky of a knife. Not typically my style either. It's definitely a hard use folder for sure. But let's take a look at what we got here. So let's start off with weight. Scales here. I think we're looking at somewhere 4.5, 5 ounces. Yeah, right at 4.5. And for comparison, let's look at this Tonto PM2, which is going to be a little bit heavier because I put titanium scales on it versus what normally comes on it, but 5.2. So this one is a little bit heavier as well. So this is not going to be a review, just mainly first impressions and what I think of the knife right out of the box. So the crewwear blade, I haven't had enough time with it to have an opinion on crewwear. From all accounts, from most people I respect, seems like a good blade steel. Thumb studs and deployment mechanism, don't really have a problem there either. They seem to be well. They don't seem like the same thumb studs that are on my 940 or my bug out, but they're more conical shaped versus barrel shaped. The G10 on here, it feels great. I'm gonna try to get a good view of this. The G10 is textured and almost has a wood like grain to it, so it kind of has an almost wood handle look if you look at the milling pattern. But as far as the weight of it goes, I don't particularly care for the speed hole look in a lot of knives, but it's appreciated here because it's a heavier folder, and so taking some weight out here. We do have steel liners instead of aluminum, so that does add a little bit weight. And let's see if we can see in here, they've been milled out a little bit as well, in addition to the holes in the G10, so the holes in the liner are a little bit wider as well. We have a deep carry clip, which I very much appreciate. I'm thinking I may put a lynch carry clip on here or something to change up the look a little bit. But I do like the way this one looks. It matches the hardware nicely, and it actually may stay. It is reversible, so lefties are included in being able to use this one. The blade shape. It's classic drop point. Got a nice little fuller in here. As far as blade graffiti, we got the Benchmade logo, which I kind of like the Benchmade logo. I normally don't like makers' logos on the show side, but yeah, Benchmade's not too bad. And then the Siebert design and the CPM crewwear. So all in all, pretty nice looking knife. Let's talk about dimensions. So we will compare it against a crisp American $2 bill, a Benchmade bug out, a Civivi Elementum, and the Spyderco PM2. So as you can see, it falls somewhere in between each of these things. I think the most apt comparison actually here is the bug out. So moving these around a little bit, they occupy a very similar space as far as footprint. You're not getting a noticeably, if any, more blade edge on this guy versus the bug out. But if you look at it, it is almost twice as wide, and the blade steel is twice as thick. So, the old adage of the folding crowbar may be applicable here, but it doesn't sacrifice a whole lot. It is still fairly thin behind the edge. Not nearly, I mean, it's not going to be as slicey as your bug out, but it is still a very serviceable edge. And so far from the little bit of slicing I've done with it, it seems to be all right. The one thing I did notice, and I'll see if I can capture this on camera, the cutting edge is slightly asymmetrical. The show side has a was it shallower grind than the clip side. So that will probably be worked out in the first sharpening and probably won't cause any real issues with use. It's just a little nitpicky thing. But overall, I can tell that this is going to need some maintenance on it already, because the out of the box, all Benchmades are a little bit stiff, but this one, like as you can see, I've got the mechanism down, and it's really struggling to go down on its own, which means it's not hard to flick out or to bring in, but compared to a well-oiled and tuned in bug out, like, this thing flies. So look forward to a disassembly and maintenance video on this. I plan on taking this apart. It should be the same mechanism as most Benchmades with an axis lock, but I do want to put some oil in there, and I do want to loosen up the pivot just a little bit. And that's another thing I noticed right off the bat, is the pivot is on the rear side versus on the bug out here, where the pivot, the screw is on the show side. And I kind of like that. I like putting as much of the hardware on the back side of the blade as possible and leaving the show side as clean as possible. And I do appreciate that kind of aesthetic touch. It does have your standard lanyard hole if you're into lanyards. And barrel spacers all look real thick and chunky, keeping the whole overbuilt aesthetic going here. But yeah, I think this, I don't know how much this will fit in my normal rotation or how long it will stay in my collection before I end up trading it for something else, but I'm liking it right now. And I should have a breakdown, disassembly, and maintenance video coming, as well as a longer review. Thanks for your time, and I appreciate it. If you're not already subscribed, I would appreciate that, as it would help me grow this community. And check out my Instagram, where I post more pictures of the knives that I'm carrying on a day-to-day basis. Thanks very much, and have a great day.